I tried to do timeline order one time, and the after the movie blurbs bugged. The fact that they didn't stitch together with like the next movie like really bothered me, and I couldn't deal with it.
Okay. All right.
So I'm just doing the straight like phase 4. So started with WandaVision. Yeah, what'd you think of it?
I thought that WandaVision was gonna be like Loki, and I was prepared to be disappointed because I didn't like Loki. I fell asleep multiple times, and I love Marvel, and I don't fall asleep during Marvel because that's sinful.
Yeah.
But I thought it was really slow, and then it became more of a it unraveled itself, and I was like, okay, I like Wanda. She's
the
cool.
first 2 episodes were pretty difficult actually to get. Like those first 2 episodes I was close to abandoning a couple times.
Honestly.
The fact that they were only like 20 minutes, that helped.
Yeah.
We're talking about WandaVision, Jess.
How was the school meeting?
Good. I needed a QR code so I could get $100 off of the re-enrollment fee. So that's very important.
I do that.
$100 off, like $20,000.
Yeah,
It's like Black Friday sales. 10% off, $4,000 item.
I have a hard stop in 25 minutes. I have Reese has a friend over, and so I need to bring her friend home.
Fun.
Yes.
Well, we are. So personas and teams, and those are all things that I'm not allowed to talk about.
Okay, good. I feel like we're beating a dead horse every time we talk about personas. Hi, Beth. I haven't interacted with you on our podcast before. I'm happy. I'm so happy.
Yeah, this is
I did
cool.
not know we were gonna have a special guest.
Thank you for having me back. Feels so special. I didn't mess up last time. That's what that tells me.
Oh, Steve and I messed up apparently last time.
I was like, oh my god, I started something. What did I do?
Beth thought Ethan and I were going to come to fisticuffs.
I was like, anything possible. That's like positive. Oprah. Charities. No, I'm just kidding. But
I told Steve this story. I had at one place, my friend and I, we sat next to each other and we were working and we were discussing a thing and we were not agreeing on the thing. And all of a sudden, this UX person comes riding right up to us and she's like, "Is everything okay over here?" And we're like, "Yeah, why? What's the problem?"
Fine.
We were just, our voices carry. We were being a little bit loud. People thought we were fighting.
you guys are so annoying.
Did you know that I'm argumentative?
Yeah.
Says who?
No? Who would say that about me?
Who said that?
My boyfriend.
Girl, that don't count.
Second that.
Y'all are both annoying.
He also called me a medical experiment. So we got out of the Keys for 4 days, 24/7, with him calling me argumentative and a medical experiment. And I think that's a pretty good.
Wow.
The medical experience seems that seems mean.
No, a medical experiment.
Experiment.
Yeah.
Why are we not saying the same thing?
Collaboration, ma'am.
I thought you said experience.
What
Oh
the
no,
hell does
medical
that mean?
experiment. No.
What is he doing? Are you okay?
So I was sick before we went to the Key West.
Oh, it makes sense. I get it.
I was not feeling very well, and then it was night 2, and I flip open my Calm app. Do you guys use the Calm app?
I don't, but I know what you're talking about.
It's amazing. You can tell stories for sleeping, you can do meditations, or you can have soundscapes, like white noise or rain. And so we're a little tipsy, and I go, "Honey, do you want rain or nature Or do you want white noise? Or do you want fire crackling? Or do you want... And he's about to fall asleep. He goes, "You are a medical experiment." And I started laughing. I'm like, "You are correct. But which one do you want?"
That doesn't answer the question.
You didn't answer my question. And I thought that was the funniest thing I've ever heard about myself.
It would have been like, "Well, asshole, you're problematic. So, and here's fire." Like, that's awesome.
I had a friend tell me that Calm has EDM music scapes now, which I'm like, oh, maybe. I'm like, yeah. I was like, that maybe. I'm a big. So what kind of like? I'm a rain kind of person.
Yeah,
Like-
I love rain.
Maybe the ocean, maybe, but
Love the ocean.
just rain.
Yeah, it
Rolling
doesn't come
waves.
close.
Rolling waves. Fire crackling. That's my latest one. Just having that fire crackling in the background.
Insects
listen-
chirping.
Ooh, I can't do that. That sounds annoying. Like the frogs and the crickets.
Really?
I can't do that.
Oh, I love the frogs.
It's cool when it's like real life.
Yeah.
Like
I
we
have
live
to
in like
listen.
kind of a swampy area, so like every year, every other year or something, it's just like it sounds like a rainforest when you walk
Yeah.
outside. It's crazy.
There was this one time I was camping with Beth, and I was hearing the coolest sounds at night. It was great. And I like touch Beth. I wake her up. I'm like, "Beth, you hear that?" And they were wolves howling.
Yeah.
Okay, they were probably, I don't know, a couple of miles from us, but you could hear them howling. I thought it was the coolest thing. I had woken her up. I rolled over, went right back to sleep, and she laid awake.
Like there's wolves everywhere.
I'm sorry.
So that was not a relaxing sound, I realized. For some people, it might have been for
Oh.
me.
That's alarming.
Yeah.
Be scared. Where's your primal instinct? My God, man.
I know. It was a bad business decision on my part. I realized it afterwards. I realized it, and I apologize, Beth.
It's okay. I forgive you. I just have to deal with all that trauma. It's fine.
How old were you?
I was like 16.
Oh yeah, really? A
Yeah,
16
really?
year old? Like if you were like 25, 30, yes, I can see doing that. But a 16-year-old girl, no.
Like if we were sprinting from danger, though, you have to realize my dad would stop us to be like, "Oh my God, Beth, look, a kingfisher! It's right there. There is danger, Dad. We gotta go. We have to go. We don't have time to bird watch."
I know.
Does your
It's
ho-
I
does
true.
love
your-
that about you.
Does your house make noises now and you can't sleep because of it?
I don't sleep well in general. I actually have to sleep to like a podcast.
Oh, yeah.
I have to have a podcast going, like an actual sleep podcast, because recently my experience at night is just listening to Ben falling asleep 5 minutes in and just
Yes.
snoring like there's no goddamn tomorrow, and then me just sitting there for 2 hours waiting until it goes away.
Yes. That's the worst ever.
I love him.
You have
My
you seen
God.
on TikTok? Have you seen on TikTok those headband things that go over and they cover your ears?
The Bluetooth headphones.
have to
yeah.
charge it every fucking night. It's so
I'm
bad.
so proud to have raised a daughter who has a potty mouth, worse than mine.
Sorry.
That is awesome. Really?
Believe.
Sorry. But it's true. Yeah, I actually have to. I've been kicking him out to the couch.
Yeah. It
recently.
doesn't get any better either.
I'm really sorry, but you have to go. I have to wake up at 5:30 and I gotta travel. So
Does that not work? The headband thing?
sometimes it doesn't because he's louder than the headband.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I also saw on TikTok another thing that gosh, it like goes on their chest or something. Or it's like a silencer or something. There's lots of stuff out there.
It can
Yeah.
silence his snoring.
Something
Well,
else.
he should go talk to a doctor and see if the snoring is like a medical issue, because there are right? Like the concern is sleep apnea, is that he has sleep apnea. So if you ever hear him like choking or coughing in his sleep, he needs to go see
He
a
does
doctor.
have sleep apnea. I have to
The-
wake him up.
Yeah, he needs to go to a doctor because I have sleep apnea. My dad had it. Like,
Mhm.
it's what killed Carrie Fisher. Like, Joe Coy has a really funny bit about sleep apnea. He's like, we are literally fighting for our life every single night. Like,
Yeah.
yes, it's trying to kill you all the time.
Oh my gosh. I did not know that.
Yeah. It's sad. But you know what? We joke about it in the morning. So it's okay. It
How
turned
you
out
want to
sunny.
strangle him and suffocate him and put a pillow over his head. Is that funny?
I just kick him a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But I don't
Have you tried?
like not maliciously. I'm just like, you okay, buddy? You
Yeah, you got to move him. Move him so he stops snoring. Yeah.
Yep, you gotta move him.
Yeah, and then he feels really bad. I'm like, I know it's not your fault. Don't feel bad. He's like, okay. Goes back to sleep. Okay.
Make him. Can you hear me, Ben? Go to the doctor, buddy.
He's in bed. Went to bed.
Can't hear you over the snoring.
Mm-mm. No, you have to be louder than that. No, he
That
has to
I
get
have
up and he has to plow.
Oh,
Mhm.
is he a snowplow driver?
He does occasionally, yeah. Mhm. Only when he's really needed, and it snowed a lot in Mankato, so.
Oh, that's
I
where you
always
were.
thought
I was
that
just
might
gonna
be
say,
fun.
Where are you? Because I need a snowplow. I boycotted shoveling. About when was it? On Tuesday night, we had an SDG event, and it was Monday where we had that heavy snow, like the rainy snow.
Heart attack snow.
Yep.
And so it was the snowplow who came. And I already had a ton of like some snow at the bottom of my driveway, and then I had like waist high, heavy chunks of ice at the bottom of my driveway. And it was, I looked all nice and pretty, and I'm ready to go to the event. And I back out and I said, screw it. I'm just gonna plow through it. I'm not gonna try to shovel. I try and I stop, and I can't get past the 4 feet of snow. And so then I try to go up my driveway, and that doesn't work. So now I'm stuck, and I'm trying going back and forth in my driveway. And so now I'm swearing. And so then I get out, I get the shovel, and now I'm in high heels, and I am shoveling and swearing, saying, I'm never doing this again. I hate snow. And then I get enough, and I throw my shovel in the middle of the driveway. And I'm like, I'm never doing this again. And I finally was able to get out. And then I called a friend who owns his own snowplowing business. And I said, I'm not doing this again. Like, I need you to come plow my driveway. So that's, I
Nice.
hate snow right now.
Have you ever considered getting a heated driveway?
That sounds expensive.
It is expensive. And also, make sure there's a drain at the end of your driveway.
Yeah. No, I'm not willing to spend that much money. I'm remodeling my house right now, so I'm gonna spend it on the inside, not the outside.
Nice.
Fair.
Do
That's
you
exciting.
do you recharge moon water? Is that a thing?
Yeah. Well, you don't
you-
recharge it. You create new moon water.
Oh, do you do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was a new thing. I saw that on TikTok. I learned that on TikTok, Steve. Sorry. Someone-
Expound.
They were like, they had a jar of water and they're like, I'm gonna put it out to create moon water or whatever. And I'm like, is that a thing?
Hmm.
Huh. I'll
Well,
have to
you
ask Jess.
recharge your crystals in the moon, and then you put filtered water outside under the moon, and then the water gets charged by the moon. And then you set an intention. So before you put it out, you set the intention to the water, and then that intention gets infused with the moon, and then you drink it throughout the month.
Do you ever
How
do
does that water taste? Because I mean, like 24 hours and water tastes pretty stale to me.
Like regular water, it's just like room temperature water. And well, have you seen where you say something to water and it changes the I don't want to call it chemical balance, but it changes the balance of the water. Have you seen that?
Mm-mm, I've not seen that.
You
I-
do some research on like
Okay.
water and like the words that you speak to water, it will change it. And if it's negative words, you'll see the water be jagged, and it would be I'm gonna do some research and I'll show you. But then if it's like happy words, I don't know, I'll have to.
I can look it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have never heard of this. Moon water and intent. What did you call it?
Intentions.
Intention.
It's like
The
manifesting,
intention-
right?
The intention of moon water. Is it? Can I find research on this on TikTok?
Yes, you can.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, there are
Okay.
scientific evidence that this is real. I can't-
My favorite one is the one they're messing up the words when they do it, and it's like something's in the microwave, and so charge your chanclas or whatever.
Chanclas.
Yes, I love that because
Your
it's like
slippers.
it's pretty funny. I hope it's not making fun. I love it makes me giggle like every time because the chanclas specifically.
Okay, so look.
Sorry.
So intentions may be able to influence the structure of water. Here are the photos of effects direct states of conscious intention as the structure of water. So before offering a prayer, a water molecule; after offering a prayer, a thank you, or you make me sick, I will kill you. Like, do you see how it's like jagged? And then like love and appreciation.
This happens in tears.
And it also happens in tears. The tears that come off of you, if they're a sad tear, it's jagged. And if it's a happy tear, it's like soft and flowy and it looks like a snowflake. That is true.
Yeah. Under a
Wow.
microscope, it looks amazing.
Yeah,
It looks so beautiful.
it's beautiful. Like looking at a happy tear and looking at a sad tear, you can
That's,
see
yeah,
that.
it is really
Wow.
cool.
So it's real. And
I
so
have
put
to I need to reevaluate my life after hearing this.
that.
Jess, do you ever do candle meditations where you do intentions with candles?
I did a candle burn, like a twin flame burning candle where I was trying to release the cord between my ex-husband and I, and so I had like a white candle and a black candle, and there was a
Oh,
string around it, and
okay.
so I had my 4 best
You're
friends
doing-
with me, and so we did a whole meditation, like seance-y, we had, yeah, it was like intense. Like it was more of like a seance, in a positive seance, not like a.
Well, it's a purification if it's black and it's white. Because each
Yeah.
candle, if you guys don't know this, each candle, like each color is different
Yep.
for each intention.
And so then my
is
friends all had a different colored candle. So my one friend had red, another friend had green, another friend had, yep. So
Yeah, whoever's green, get that money.
Yep.
Get
Is
that
Steve
money.
frozen for you guys too?
no.
No.
Oh, you're frozen. This is gonna look great on the podcast, but
Really?
yeah, it's fantastic.
Huh. Well, that's okay.
I think paganism is wonderful, by the way. I don't know if that's what you like celebrate, but it's
Someone
like,
just asked me that because they're like, "You're talking about crystals. Like, what are you, a witch?" I'm like, "Well," and he's like, "Well, I'm a pagan." I'm like, "Okay, cool." He's like, "Well, do you celebrate this, 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 and this?" I'm like, "No." But like, does that classify me as a not witch? Like, I don't classify myself. I don't identify as anything. You know what I mean? Like,
and you don't have to.
exactly.
That's the whole point. and,
Yeah,
like,
that's the whole point.
your own meditation and beliefs, and like if it makes you feel better, good. Then keep
Exactly.
doing it. Fine. If you're not hurting anybody, cool.
Yeah. So I don't really classify or think of myself as anything other than spiritual.
Good for you. That's totally awesome. I think that's great.
And these guys know all my quirky little things.
I wouldn't say we know all of them. I'd
You
say
didn't know about the
each-
moon water.
each podcast reveals a new facet that is fascinating. The
Right.
moon water, the intention of tears, whatever.
Yeah.
I feel enlightened.
Two
There's
more.
also sun water.
Yeah. There's
That's the
all
thing.
water. Yeah. We're in a new moon on Saturday. So
Cute.
Isn't there a song, New Moon on Monday? Wasn't that
Oh.
Duran Duran?
speaking of moons, okay, so in Key West, we were able to have a couple cocktails, you know, have a couple other things that make you feel happy and joyful. And we're just walking down the we're just walking down the streets and just going to different bars and having a cocktail. And there was an art gallery. And this art gallery, we both kind of looked at it and we're like, oh my gosh, this looks so cool. And so we went in there and I literally fell in love with this painting. And I don't know if you can see it very well.
Is
but
it like
It's a
a
sunset.
beachscape? Is
it's
that
like a
what it's
moon.
called? I don't know.
It's a
Okay.
moon in the night. It's like a full moon with the in the ocean. And I asked, like, gosh, tell me, like, how much is this? And she's like, well, let me find out. She takes it off the wall, brings it into a private room. And so now I'm in a private room on like a leather couch drinking my cocktail. And I'm like, hey, Jason, will you grab me another cocktail, please? And she closes the door and she's like, this piece is number 35 of 100. And this is like, she started going into the details of the artist. And then she like dimmed the lights and the painting changed because it like narrowed the moonbeam on the water. It was, I was in heaven. And I'm looking at this, I'm like, ooh, I want this. I'm like, how much is it? She's like, well, it's $4,500. And that includes shipping.
That's actually not that bad.
And I'm like, okay. I'm like, can I have your card? And so I got her card and I'm talking to her about it. And then another sales lady came over and she's trying to convince me to buy it. And we walked out and I'm like, I think I might buy it. And I'm still thinking about it and I haven't bought it yet because I found it half price somewhere else. But I'm totally going to buy it. It's the most beautiful thing.
Was this
Nice.
the artist? Was this the artist or was it an art dealer?
An art dealer.
No, don't
Don't do
buy
it?
it from the art dealer.
Really?
Don't buy it from it. They will take. How much do you think an art dealer takes from the artist? What
Oh,
percentage
God.
would you guess?
I have no clue. I've never been in an art gallery, especially.
Let's have a little class, shall we? Let's get into it. Let's go. Okay, what do you know?
Between
Nothing.
70 and 90%.
What?
That's my
It's
guess.
80 to 90%.
Yeah.
Absolutely outrageous. No, I'm not even kidding you.
That's how it is with like all
What?
art. Music is like that too. Like artists make pennies or fractions of pennies based on plays for streaming stuff.
And they're
Not a lot of
selling
money.
you maybe their B work. They'll never sell you their S work. They'll never sell you their specialty work. They'll either sell you the A, B, or C work.
What? No.
Yeah, it's like they're trying to make money.
Yeah. So they'll mark it up. An art dealer will mark it up, and then because they want money out of it too, that's how they make their living. This is how artists make their living, especially if they're part of a studio.
Yeah.
The artist will go, okay, well, I should work with this art dealer because they can get me in a large amount of money. I don't know any of their connections, and that's their whole selling point is I have the connections. I have a brick and mortar store I can place this in, and I can talk to people. I know how to sell people things. They're car salesmen.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. Okay, well, I'm glad I didn't buy it right then and there because I was about to.
You should contact the artist and see if they're willing to meet with you and see if you can talk to them. And it would be a so much cooler experience. And then you both come out of it well because at least you're supporting somebody who really truly deserves it.
Yeah.
They have an art dealer because they don't know you.
I don't know what's gonna happen.
Let's go.
I don't know.
You were
We'll
doing
see.
that for me.
No.
Because I have to
Jess?
get going.
Jess is at time. That's why I thought you did it. You're like, I'm going to cut it off so Jess can go.
I was like, okay, gotta go.
We'll see. We'll see how this. I don't know. I'm like a little nervous because I've been having problems with it. I'm a little nervous that it's not gonna work. We'll see. So.
Okay. Well, I do have to get going. Thank you for
Yeah.
that pro tip. It was super nice hanging out with you. And I will talk to you guys next week.
All
Sounds
right.
good.
See ya.
Bye.
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 So, Steve, your proclamation about the best line in Stranger Things, you're not alone. There are other people that felt the same way. They felt that was
Really?
like a yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I think it is like it's a great line. I think to me I think it's the word children that makes that line so great.
Yeah.
The line. Refresh me.
The line is when two of my favorite characters in that, Steve and Robin, are in Scoops Ahoy. Okay. And all the kids come in and he gets them into the back area where they can go into the theater for free, basically. And then later, Dustin comes back from his camp trip. And he comes in and he and Steve are doing and they got the secret handshake and they're going, blah, blah, blah. And Robin looks at Steve and says, how many children do you know? And to me, it was a great line because it was Steve basically, he wasn't trying to be cool. He was just enjoying his time with these younger kids. It was a big character development moment. So
Yeah.
other people have said this to you, Ethan?
Well, other people agreed with you when I posted it on social media.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got to get on TikTok, Steve.
I guess I do.
It's okay, Dad. I'm not on that boat either. So.
You're
Yeah.
not on TikTok either, or you are on TikTok?
Oh, not really. Like
I'm trying to reduce my social media footprint.
I am too, but I can't help it. I get sucked into those videos anyway, and people send me TikToks like willy nilly, and I'm like, okay, I have to get the app in order to see these. So I don't know. I don't spend too much time on it. That's a little unheard of for my age, I think. That's fine.
I don't know.
Probably
I think-
healthy.
Yeah, I don't know if it's unheard of for like your generation. I think that
Okay, good, because I'm like,
No.
"Ooh, I'm not missing it."
no, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems like because TikTok now is like it's going to turn into all the other ones because money's starting to flow into it from companies. And so I think everybody that liked it because of its like it was like a level playing field for everybody to get traction, they're going to leave. So like it'll turn into Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. Like it's going to be for the older people, which is hilarious. Oh, that's so funny to say. Older
Yeah, you old. Ethan, do you know any dances? Can you get up there and just be like, what is this? They do this? I'm sorry, excuse me. what is this? Like, I just think of spaghetti. Like, look at how cool I am. What? What is that? Someone explain. No?
That move, is it a dance move?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't
Do you
know
have
what
to
that would
explain
be.
dance moves?
So I have a question. Speaking of TikTok, if you were to like look at somebody in public who is clearly doing a TikTok, like a dance, how would you react? Would you get out of the way of the shot? Would you be in the back going?
No,
It
I don't know.
depends on my mood. It depends on if the person is repeatedly doing it and it becomes annoying to me. Like maybe they're infringing on my space or something doing it, then I might photobomb it or whatever and do something dumb. But in general, I would say I'd probably just stay out of the way.
Caught in between that feeling and being like, but they're artists.
Well, it looks very different. Like not from the can, like everything does. There's this one lady on TikTok and they're like, can you make, it's like food thirst traps is what she makes, or she like started making. So,
Awesome.
and I don't know if she's like a marketer or somebody, but it's videography that like commercial, like think commercial. So it's like a commercial food thirst trap, right? And so she does
Right.
like a little quick, like her getting the shots, and it looks dumb. Like, and then you see the commercial and you're like, that's amazing. And like, I'm like, do you see that? Do you see the second one in your head? And you just know how to, like, how does this all coalesce to you? Like, how do you get from the thought to there? What does that look like?
A lot
Yeah.
of editing.
Forgive me, but I don't even know what a food thirst trap is.
Yes.
Yes, I knew that was going to come up.
Sorry, Dad. I love you. I'm not making fun of you. It's okay. What, like a Pepsi commercial, when the can is like spinning and it has all those droplets on it, and it's advertising the name on the can as it's spinning, and it just looks really good. No one's holding the can; it's just spinning and.
Okay.
Or like when you go to the movie theater and there's the Coca-Cola commercial with the popcorn popping, and you see all the popcorn popping up the screen, and then all of a sudden there's a whole bunch of ice, and there's a straw that gets put into the ice, and there's the ASMR like.
So it's a product advertisement, the money shot.
Yeah.
Yes, there you go. I was like, what old word do we need to say to get him done? Because I think thirst trap is what's throwing you off.
Dad, do you know what a
Well, I've heard of the like thirst tweets for, about some celebrity. I know what those are.
Okay.
Thirst what?
Thirst tweets.
Thirst tweets. Oh, that's
Oh,
probably the
yeah,
same
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Where somebody, all of our followers, when they're like, oh, Ethan, he's so hot on that podcast, that kind of thing. And they go into graphic details. Thirst tweets.
Yep. That's 100% how it is.
Yes.
I told my wife about how, because she doesn't listen to the podcast really. So I told her about how your story about you were just talking about you fixing your dryer, and Jess was like, that's hot, right?
Right.
She's like,
Oh yeah.
that is so weird. And I'm like, I don't know, is it? And then
Not
my
weird.
oldest daughter's like, she starts laughing hysterically because she saw that episode.
That's awesome. Yeah. Oh man. TikTok is such a weird platform, but it's also like great. It can be like really nice for education too.
Yeah, there's like a whole campaign. I learned it on TikTok. There's a whole genre of, there's this one guy, Taco Reacts. He's a comedian and he does a thing like he learned something. His big thing now is like he's mad at Jesus because he didn't know this thing for like 45 years of his life or whatever. So it's always him showing the thing and then him like, are you serious? And lately he's been like pretending to call Jesus. It's pretty funny. Yeah, and Steve's big thing is, or the thing that he likes to talk about is how most younger people get their news from TikTok.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is true.
It was really funny. I had a friend, she's only like a couple of years younger than me. It's negligible. And so we were talking and she's like super big into the news. And I'm like, yeah, I don't watch local news. I don't read national. No. She's like, how do you find out about things? I'm like, the internet. Like, I find out about it like in real time, just like everybody else, it seems like, like without having to go to any major news outlet to hear about it. So I think it's just funny that somebody even in my generation's like, no, news is where you get that information from.
Well, it depends
Like-
on what kind of news you're watching too.
Yeah.
Which direction are you watching? Is that like a fair statement? Which direction? Which perspective?
Can be. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sure that there's both. There has to be. I don't.
Well, you have to
I mean,
watch different news channels to get both.
Yeah, I'm a big
You'll
fan of
get
just the facts.
Yes, I agree.
That's what I'm a big.
But not all
That's
news
a-
channels provide just the facts.
No,
They
none of
like
them
to-
do. None of them
They
do.
like to provide it through a certain lens.
Yes.
Mhm.
Nice. I'd watch that. Welcome to Just the Facts.
That should be a show, just the facts, ma'am. Right there. That's probably too old for both of you.
Nope. That's Get Smart, isn't it?
No,
I'm close.
It was,
I'm
It
close.
was Dragnet.
Dragnet. Okay. So I don't think I ever watched Dragnet. That's too old for me. But I did hear that growing up on reruns on the television, of course.
Now, there was also a callback to it in Die Hard, where at the beginning of the movie, John McClane, maybe it was Die Hard 2. I have to think about that. But it happened in one of them, where he had to pick up a facsimile off a fax machine, and the gal who was handing it to him started hitting on him, and he said, "Just the facts, ma'am." He's like, "I don't have time for your nonsense. Just give me the facts."
That's
There
got
you
to
go.
be two. That's not one, right? Because one
Yeah, I
just
think-
starts
I
out
think it-
like,
Yeah, I think it was 2.
that's funny. What a great joke that didn't age well.
I still use a fax machine.
Do you have an actual fax machine or do you use a fax service?
I have to use the fax machine at work.
Oh, gross. I have a service. There's like one thing that I do every month that I need to, like the place that I send it to, it's a fax. Like I can mail it or fax it to them. And I'm like, all right, guys. So I pay like it's an online service and I just upload the images and then they fax it via magic. I don't know.
You have to
some-
send something to someone in 1997.
Yeah, pretty much.
Obviously.
That's a Ted Lasso quote.
I'm thinking of The Office where David Wallace says, I'm going to fax this over. And Michael's like, well, why don't you just do some other thing? Why don't you just mail it to me? He goes, David Wallace goes, this is really important. And Michael goes, then just email it.
God. Yeah.
Awesome.
It hurts every time I have to do a fax too, because it's always a pain in the butt. Like, can I just text it to you? Do you really need a fax? No, you have to fax it.
My fun little tidbit about the fax machine, which is hilarious that Steve, you felt the need to say the full word because I've never heard in conversation that I only know it because I've seen it spelled. Is that when there was only one fax machine, it was useless. And then when there was another fax machine, it became valuable. And the more fax machines, the more valuable it became. Because that's a technology to me. Like, I don't think they were a thing when I was growing up. Like, it was relatively newish, I suppose.
I just think texting is so much easier.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's too
It is-
casual.
It is interesting how texting sort of really took over way more than email, and how email is gradually kind of going away. I mean, it still has its place.
Mostly business.
Yeah.
I do not like
Especially in
email.
spam.
I don't like email at all. Mostly because I can't access my work email at home, which really bothers me. But also I get it because they're trying to like be like, no, work is for work and your home is for home.
Oh, that's kind of cool. Like,
Yeah.
it is kind of cool they did it in that spirit.
Yeah, but I think it's backfired a little bit because I'm like, well, there are things that I need to know for the next day, and if I can't check my email because I'm really busy, I can't help you.
Yeah.
So I was talking to somebody. I don't know if you guys will resonate with this. So we're talking about work, and their inbox, they have a 0 inbox. So like every day at the end of the day, like everything gets deleted, not like put like in a folder, just deleted. And I'm like, are you serious? I'm like, that, I don't know, man. I don't know if I can do that. So then I'm thinking about, I'm like, maybe I'll try that this year and just 0 inboxes everywhere. Cause how often do I need to go back more than like a week to get sure? It's super fun in my Gmail account to go back to 2005 and see stuff, because that's how long I've had it now.
No, you have emails from back in 2005, bro.
I didn't
what are you
no, I've
doing?
never deleted anything. I just archived that crap.
I like deleting things.
Everything. Oh, I did get rid of, I think I backed up all my photos and got them out of the cloud. They're spread out into different cloud applications, and so I'm trying to do away with that stuff. That's more of a security thing for me. But
I like to pin things at the very top of the email list, and I also have a folder specifically to refer back to, and I'll just move things and show, because I get things that aren't even addressed to me in my email that don't even apply. Like 90 to 80% of my email is that.
is this work or personal?
Work.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Because you said folder, and I'm like, well, you're using like one app, like you're using Microsoft. You say folder.
I'm using Outlook.
Yeah. Yep.
Yup.
That's not a bad idea. A specific folder.
Yeah. In case anybody goes, I don't know how to do this. Oh, this was back in this email. Cool. I got it.
And this to make this scenario for this guy that deletes stuff even worse, the company that he works at has a built into the deleted area. So like when you delete it and it goes to like the deleted area, and it has a built-in rule that permanently deletes everything after 60 days in that freaking place. So this dude's just losing stuff.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
I'm like,
nuts.
I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, maybe there's some validity in that. I might have to try that out.
Yeah.
So it's like the number of times I've needed emails from, and need is a strong word too, is
Right.
so few. Like I had my friends like, I'm playing this game. I'm like, all right, cool. I'll like log in, but I can't find my username or password. So I go digging through emails, and it's like from 5 years ago, and I find it. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. But that only happens like maybe twice a year.
Yeah.
For me. So I'm not saying I'm arguing with the idea either of a 0 inbox. There are some definite pros to it.
It's like
I think
clearing up your desk.
Yeah.
I get that.
I mean, I think I still have things from our company from the beginning. I don't think I ever deleted it. And I also went through a tool move too. So we switched from Gmail to Office 365.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I think I still have the ones from Gmail. I have to go back and look.
I thought you were going to say you moved from GroupWise to Outlook
No.
or Office 365. Huh. That's dating myself.
Yep. I don't know what that is.
That was. Did you remember Novell NetWare?
I've heard that word before.
Oh. Never mind.
What?
I mean, it's like, it really is kind of like, did you use 8-tracks? Like, I've seen them.
I remember.
I think you lost. I don't hear you, Steve.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh, there we go.
inadvertently muted myself. It was one of those things that was a decent enough product, and it was a competitor, or it was the original thing before Microsoft's Active Directory and Exchange came along. But the Microsoft machine, despite being inferior products, rolled right over them.
Yeah, like I remember ActiveSync. That's about as far back. Before that, I was a child.
Thanks.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, Dad.
I think it's
remember
because you're mid 20s, right, Beth?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is really funny because Steve and I are farther apart than that, but you and my oldest daughter are like within 5 years.
Oh, nice. I remember my first encounters with like MSN Messenger and being like 10 years old and saving GIFs, like saving so many GIFs and just sending those. That was it. Like that was so cool. Like sending that to my neighbor. He's 5 steps away, and I'm just sending him little rainbows and being like, "Hey Betty, check out this new GIF I got today. Oh sweet, I'm gonna save that."
Do you do that in like in work chat? Do you respond with GIFs?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Memes all the way. Hey boss, I got really bad news for you, but here's this really cute cat hanging on for dear life. Like, absolutely. I got one recently where my boss he asked me like a question like, "Hey, when did you clock in today?" And I was like, "This is when I clocked in." And then the next day he's like, "Hey, when did you clock in?" And I'm like, "Buddy, you gotta look 2 texts up. Like that's all you gotta do is right there." And he's like, "Oh," and he sends me a little guy looking into a microscope, and he adds a caption that's like, "Me looking for my last brain cell."
That's awesome.
And then I sent him back.
I am so stealing that.
I sent back this mom literally carrying this kid who's just dragging on the floor, and my caption was, "Me carrying you to the finish line because you're a little shit."
Oh, that's awesome though. The me looking for my last brain cell. I'm so stealing that. That's
really
priceless.
It was really funny. Yeah. I'm lucky to have a boss that's cool with that kind of banter.
Is your boss a millennial?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I saw somebody made a video and they're like, these younger kids, these young generation, they think that, you know, the tattoos and stuff are going to keep them from getting jobs, or, you know, that he's just saying that they intentionally get tattoos so they don't have to work in corporate. He's like, but they forget that millennials are the ones that are hiring and we do not care.
Yeah. Yes, sir. That's a big thing at my company right now, where there's they're butting heads and communication on that because they're like, well, literally everyone has tattoos and colored hair right now, and we need people in the work field, and it's not even that big of a deal. Why do they have to be cookie cutter? And the other side is like, well, it looks more friendly when you have brown hair and no tattoos. And I mean, like, I'm not coloring my hair or getting tattoos, but I'm like, does it really matter? Does it actually matter? No.
It's the same thing as
Everyone has to.
when you
everyone
dress
has to-
professional, you act professional, right?
Yes.
Same mindset.
Do you have the credentials? Can you do your job correctly?
I was
You have
fortunate
computer skills?
the first place I went after retail, I asked, I was like, what's the dress code? And they're like, there isn't one. I'm like, awesome. So in the summertime, shorts, t-shirt, flip-flops. No joke. All summer long.
Really?
It was so great.
What on earth? What year was this?
2007 to 2011.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Would
it's
you
great.
wear Hollister?
I was just gonna say. I was gonna say it was
God, man.
2021.
You're joking.
No.
No.
The CEO would wear that
Whatever.
stuff too. It was so this is my theory. I theorized that I could wear pajamas to work at least one time and not get fired. I never did it. But
You
I'm
wear
like,
your
I'm
Cookie
pretty-
Monster Walmart pajamas going to work. Can
Dude,
I
it was-
your furlers too?
it was so great, man. It was so great. And then-
Whatever.
They built a new building and they didn't have the HVAC like tuned in, obviously, for like 2 years after they built the building. So like in the summertime, it was so cold in the building that I had to go outside in the 90-degree, 90% humidity to warm up because I was wearing shorts, t-shirts, and flip-flops in the office.
Oh my God. I'm very jealous. That's awesome, but I would never be able to do that at any of my jobs. I don't think any of them.
I feel like I've been pretty fortunate. No place like really had like really strict rules, like business casual, like, you know, I don't know, even when places say business casual, what I've learned is like dark jeans, like that's good enough. Dark jeans, maybe some like nice-ish casual shoes, and then like a polo or button down if you'd like, and that's about it.
I don't think I was able to wear jeans at any of my jobs.
I was at
I
one
think-
place. This is a big box place, and for the full-time employees, this is why I say I feel fortunate, is because like it was already changing, and so there are people that had been there before me that were full-time employees, and they still had this weird thing where like you could purchase tickets to wear jeans at the office. It was
Huh.
weird. It was so
For
weird.
charity. I've seen that before. Yep.
And
We're
it like
running
they
this
had
thing
Are
for
you the
charity.
case?
they had expanded it to like before it was like only during certain times, and like after like when I got there they'd expanded it to be like you could buy out basically the whole year if you wanted.
Alright. When I'm not in clinic, I'm allowed to wear jeans, but otherwise I have to wear scrubs. Which is nice because it's a uniform and it's comfortable and it feels like pajamas, and I'm okay with that. That's fine.
It is definitely nice working from home for days when I would like to wear pajama pants. That's always fun.
Are you guys guilty of wearing like the button down shirt and then just totally gray sweatpants? Like looking nice up here and then gray sweatpants.
No, I don't think I've worn a button down at all since working from home.
I
hate
think
you.
I've probably worn a button down half dozen times, maybe.
I'm so jealous.
And I usually am in jeans, sometimes shorts, but usually jeans. I think I may have had pajama bottoms on less than 5 or 6 times. And it was usually when I was not feeling well, and I was going to log on and work as much as I could and then go take a nap and work, then come back. So it was one of those situations.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude,
You too,
that
Peter?
no, I don't. No, I'll wear like this stuff. I mean, I'm in the basement, so it's like a lot of like nice-ish sweatshirts. I feel like, I don't know. I've seen women get away with a lot of comfortable things too, but it's like I feel like guys get away with quite a bit of nonsense when it comes to clothes. Like, because this looks really plain, and then when I do this, and you can see the two layer, like the two colors, it's like, oh, that's kind of nice.
You did a good job. You want to
Yeah, right.
Mental note to self: 2 colors looks nice.
Yes, 2 colors. So, yeah, I don't know.
That's funny.
My favorite is like, because I mean, I got the sickness too, and so it's super fun being home, because if you can or you want to work and not take the day off, you can work and then just go. Because with this particular one, it's like this thing where you're somewhat capable and then you just kind of crash in the middle of nowhere, and so it would be nice to just be like, I'm working, and now all of a sudden I can barely stand up and I just have to go take a nap, and you just go do that.
Oh, that hurts. That makes me nauseous.
I know. But keep in mind, we've logged plenty of years of work to get to this point.
Oh, you did your time. Blah blah blah. I get it.
Blah 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 blah. I don't want to hear it.
Oh, I get it. I get it. Someday it will be my turn. That'll be good.
Soon, based on AI.
Sweet.
Yep.
I don't think I could ever do a job where I'm not working with people though. Like face to face.
That is what I thought until the pandemic hit and I started working from home. And I will gladly trade my dog for many people. Plus, I found like in the virtual world, it isn't as difficult as I thought it would be to connect with people. As long as the people on the other end are willing to like be on camera and participate. In fact, I had a discussion with 2 people today who called me to talk about something, and they are notoriously not on camera, these 2 people. And when we joined the call, my camera was covered like this, and they made a comment like they couldn't see me, and I'm like, well, but you're never on camera, and they're like, yeah, I know. One of them said something like, I could be on camera, but no. And I'm just like, well, why? Because you miss nonverbal cues that you don't get, and they both agreed with that, but neither of them have any intent of being on camera.
Interesting.
Yeah. Which I think is really odd, but whatever.
I don't know. I remember, so the place we were at together, I think I told this story too. We used to have these like larger meetings, and we were in the process of moving away from like WebEx and moving towards Teams. And there was always, for these big meetings, always somebody's out. So there's always like a dial-in option. And I was trying to transition the team from calling on the phone to like, it's more acceptable to just straight up work remotely and just join like and have a camera and be like a person. And so I had a webcam connected to my laptop, and I was presenting for this whole meeting. So I stood at a podium, and I had the webcam was just pointed out in the room so anybody that was remote could see everybody. And there was one person who, like, in the middle of the meeting, they thought the camera was pointed directly at them, and they couldn't stand it. They're like, I don't like this thing looking at me. I'm like, dude, this is like a 160-degree field of view. Like, it's not just your freaking face. It's the whole room.
That's funny.
I was watching this video recently, where it was a court case that was virtual, and somebody, what's it called? The accused, the defendant,
Yes.
had a filter, and it was a cat filter. So it was just this picture of this cat. It was a still frame, but the mouth was moving. And it was so funny. And they're like, "Sir, I think you have a filter stuck." And he's like, "Well, I don't know how to switch it." He clearly knew he could switch it. And he's like, "I don't know how to switch it." And I just think it was really funny. If you guys
That was the
haven't-
cat filter one, right?
Yes.
Yes.
It was great.
Dude, the stuff I can't. There's the one where the lady is walking around her house with her laptop on a call, and so she's just carrying it, walking around her house, and then she goes into the bathroom and sets the laptop down on the floor facing her. And I don't know if it's staged or not, but it's like, that's plausible, 100% plausible.
For sure. If she's that character, you know it.
There's another one that I've seen recently, which I think this one's 100% staged. It has to be. So they're in this meeting, and this guy comes in. He gets up from his computer, and he goes to the back part of his office and grabs lotion and tissue. And the caption is like, there's like one person who said something to him, like some woman was like, "Hey, turn your camera off," and he didn't hear her. And I'm like, this has to be staged. There's no way this is real. No way.
It's gotta
No
be.
way.
I hope so. Nobody wants that.
No, seriously. I mean, it's happened to streamers before, I guess, in the early days of streaming. So
Oh, no.
we
I would-
are such a weird species, I tell you what. We are obsessed with like I'm sure Steve maybe a little bit, but it was always fun when you get on camera or TV or whatever for a game or something. And it's like we still, for whatever reason, we're still obsessed with that. Like we have cameras and a way to broadcast to everybody in our pocket, and everybody's doing it all the time. It's so weird.
Yep.
As I get older, I'm like, does everyone really need to know what I'm doing? No one actually gives a crap.
When Facebook was big, and social media was just kind of taking off, there was a guy who did an experiment to see how important Facebook was. And so he was like very active on it, and then he just stopped and he took like a month off or whatever, and then like logged back in, and like nobody had messaged him. Like the whole time he was gone, he's like, I guess this isn't important.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun to see what everybody's doing and stuff, but no, kind of don't care anymore.
There's a group chat that I'm a part of, and this group chat is specifically for encouragement, like between friends. Like, hey, I accomplished this, and this is what I did. How are you doing? Are you doing okay? Like a check-in, a wellness check. And I recently did one where I was like, hey, I haven't really been on here, but you know what? I'm gonna normalize that right now because you don't need to know like everything, and that's okay. And I feel weird that I'm not giving you this time, but that's not true. And there's this like overwhelming need to communicate all the time, and I don't do that. I'm really bad at texting. I do phone calls instead of texting, which is pretty old school. People don't like phone calls, but I do. I love phone calls. I would much rather have a phone call with you than text. It's annoying. And I'd rather be face to face with you too, because I can be on the phone for 2 hours and then I'd be like, you know what, why don't you just come over? Like, whatever. And But I'll one word text somebody if someone's like, oh my gosh, Beth, this happened to me. Here's this long paragraph. And I go, cool. And then I look like a total jerk because I only
Just give
put cool.
Give a thumbs up or a heart.
That's so painful. When that's not actually how I feel, I just really hate texting. And then I'll just at that point call them and be like, hey. But yeah, I don't know what that is. But I just put that out there as like, just so you know, this is fine.
It's a community thing. It's very interesting because you see this in the streaming space, it's somewhat related to like revenue and how streamers get money. But so when you're using somebody else's platform, they take a cut, obviously, like the art broker.
Right.
But if you bring that internal and create your own community using like a different tool, you can potentially get all the revenue for yourself. And so, yeah, there's like a pattern and something similar to what you're describing where a lot of places create there's like a vent space where you just throw up your garbage when you're having like a really bad day and like people can comment, but it's really just a place for you to get it out of your body,
right,
and into something else. But there's always different kind of, I mean, even in our company, community is like a big thing. There's lots of different like little communities within our organization as well. So I think it's just like how we would be tribally translated into a digital world.
Yeah. Well, I suppose it takes a village.
Because you guys might do that like at work if these are all work people, or if you had close proximity, or were getting together on a regular basis with these friends, right?
Yes. I don't actually get together with them very often, and they're in different parts. Some of them are from different parts of the United States, so I don't actually see them too often. But I know them, and I've known them for a really long time, and they understand my tendencies. So they're just like, Beth's just 70 years old. It's fine. She's probably off knitting something or whatever. And I'm like, it's about right. This week it's pottery. Which, by the way, thank you, Steve. That pottery wheel that I got for Christmas is pretty cool.
Dope. Sweet.
It's dope. That's right.
Awesome. Good to hear.
Do you have a kiln?
I don't have a kiln, but there is a place where I live that has a maker space.
Oh,
and,
nice.
You can pay like, I think it's like $15 to use this kiln, and you can put as many objects that you've created in this kiln.
Do you have to load it yourself, or do they do that for you?
I don't know. I haven't done it yet.
Oh, okay.
I just kind of heard about it, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this. Like, whatever. It's gonna be cool.
Pottery, the actual art form. It's my favorite form of art, not the other thing.
Beth asked for a pottery wheel for Christmas.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Should have asked for like glass blowing tools or something. Just kidding. That would be really cool too. Glass blowing is amazing. Have you guys seen Blown Away on Netflix?
No.
No. Do we need to see it?
No.
No.
It's pretty
No.
awesome.
Not seen it.
It actually is. It's cool. You should look it up.
Okay. All right.
Is it about glass blowing?
It is.
Okay.
It's a competition.
Oh,
And
nice.
yeah, it's really cool. It's like the British Bake Off, but with glass blowing.
Okay. Cool.
Everyone's like, oh my god, this is so cool. You did such a good job. Instead of like the reality TV shows that were like in the 2000s, like Survivor, that's like, I'm going to find the idol and kick this person off because I hate them. And like, it's not like that. There's no like drama like that. It's like, everyone's a part of this cool team. Oh, they got kicked off. That's so sad. Like, it's like actually encouraging content.